All right, today I want to share how I get paid $3,000 an hour just to give advice. And more importantly, I want to take what I've learned in increasing my hourly rate from $30 an hour just 4 years ago to $3,000 an hour and specifically apply it to niching, pricing, and how you can level up as a coach or consultant. So firstly, let me start with a disclaimer that not every hour I work is worth $3,000 to me. I wish that was the case. Goodness, I mean, how good would that be? But the reality is that this is not a made up number. This is not what I think I'm worth. I didn't sit down and I was like, oh, I think I'm worth $3,000 an hour. No, I pay what people pay me, and I typically sell, 5, 10, 15 of these consulting hours every single month and have done for the last year. And today I want to break down exactly how I got to this place, but most importantly, how you can take these lessons and apply them to your offer, to your business, so you become known in a niche and you can charge high prices for your services or advice. Now, where this all started for me, if I zoom in, actually, let me just break this down here for a second. So the journey that all of us are on when it comes to coaching and consulting is going from a generalist to a specialist. And if you want to think about an analogy, I remember hearing this in one of the first few weeks that I was becoming a coach / consultant, right? They're kind of the same things, but there are some nuances. When I started that journey, I remember someone talking about the difference between a GP, a general practitioner, and a brain surgeon. And they were talking about how if you had a rare form of cancer, would you want to just work with the person who was, a doctor that worked with anyone and everyone with every kind of disease? Or would you seek out and pay top dollar for the person who specializes in the problem that you have? And of course, you and I both know that with something as high stakes as cancer, right, we're going to go to the specialist. Now, the journey for most of us, in order to be able to get paid what we're worth or become worth more so we can get paid more, right? Because that's not always the same thing. Sometimes your hours right now are not worth that much, which is why you're not getting paid that much. And so we want to make them worth more so you can get paid more. That journey is about going from being a generalist to a specialist. And I want to talk about my own journey with that and then tie it into exactly with these couple of scribbles here, exactly how you can do this in your business, regardless of whether you're just starting out, whether you're scaling. I promise you're going to find really actionable insights here in this session today. So don't skip out. It's going to be really, really good for you. Now, these numbers here are 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021, because these were 4 massive shifts for me when it came from this generalist to specialist evolution. And most importantly, how it led me to getting paid what I'm getting paid today to consult with different businesses at these really high hourly rates. So in 2018, it's when I first got started. I transitioned from the world of pastoring, which is about as different as you can get from agency and coaching work, into this kind of online space. And at this time, the easiest way to describe what it is that I did for people is I did everything for everyone. Not a very eloquent way to say it, but basically I didn't have an offer. I didn't have a niche. I was the quintessential generalist, right? I built websites, I managed social media for a supermarket, I was running ads for a vehicle financing place, I was coaching a real estate agent on how to use social media, I was working with a personal trainer on how to take them online. Now, initially, this might be uncommon advice, but I think that's absolutely the way that most people should start. Now, you don't need to have as many directions as I had, but the idea that you would take someone who's a complete beginner and say, hey, pick a niche is insane, because people have not had the experience that they are necessary to kind of link up with, a niche and an offer and so on. And so at the start, it totally makes sense to take a shotgun approach, both in the people you work with and the things you offer. But the problem is most coaches stay there. And they don't make that transition from generalist to specialist to being worth more so they can charge more. And so oftentimes they just get stuck in this land of not really becoming known for anything. And that's where I was finding myself in that first year. I mean, I was making good money. I got to 10K a month my first month and never went below, which was an incredible thing to go from making, 30 grand a year as a pastor to, making that as a coach and consultant. But it was hard, right? I didn't really know who I was trying to attract. Every client I was working with is a little bit different. You get the picture. The next thing, 2019, was the really big iteration for us that when I made this decision, we took this next business from 0 to 100K a month in 9 months, right? So again, if you flash back, 2018, I started a business, I was at 10K a month, 10 to 20K a month for a really long time. In 2019, I made this decision. I took this step in the generalist to specialist evolution, and it massively increased the amount of money that we can make and the simplicity of our business. And it became really focused in on what we call like the 4P formula, or like your power positioning, right? It's the person, problem, promise, and process. So like the 4Ps, your power positioning. The fifth one here you would talk about is price, but let's just focus in on these 4Ps. Now, for us at this stage, we became really, really focused in on helping one type of person solve a particular problem. We went from everything for everyone to helping coaches get more sales calls using Facebook ads and webinar funnels. So I want you to think about that for a second. We've got a clear person, right? What's the problem? They don't have enough calls, right? They don't have enough calls. What's the promise? We want to get you a calendar full of calls with the right prospects. That's a very important point. It's a promise. And the process was very clear. We helped people get those calls through ads and webinar funnels. Now, two incredible things happened here. The first was we got really, really focused in our delivery, right? When you become a specialist and you start solving the same problems, you can create systems and processes, SOPs. You can train team members to deliver to solve that particular problem and help clients get results because the process is consistent, right? You guys get what I'm saying? Every client we were bringing on was not like, oh, this person's doing Facebook ads, and oh, we're also going to be writing emails for this person. We're going to build a funnel for this person, but then we're going to start doing TikTok or whatever it was back then, Musically. And it was really consistent, really clear, and really simple to scale, which is why I went from 0 to 100K a month because the delivery was really straightforward. But the second thing that happened was like that we became really known for helping coaches get calls. I'm kind of like smiling because it was a really funny time. We grew in that time really fast because we firstly were in a mastermind filled with coaches. So it was the perfect thing. So there was so much word of mouth and organic marketing, and we were just becoming really, and I say we, it was me and one other person, no business partner, but just a team member. And so I really should say I in that time just became obsessed with like, how do I help coaches get more clients, right? If you think about the specialist journey, right? The brain surgeon, I'm going to school, studying everything I need to know about brain surgery or about this particular rare cancer, whatever it is. Like that season for me was becoming really, really, really good at that particular thing. And we just became known for it. People started seeking us out and we grew through referrals and so on and so forth. And that was 2019 on this generalist to specialist evolution. 2020, two things happened that really made me see my expertise through a different lens. The first thing that happened was we consulted with a business doing 30 million a year. And that for me is still one of the biggest consulting gigs that I did. Now, it was completely unpaid, so I want to be super clear about that. They didn't bring me in, but I knew the owner, and he said, "Hey, dude, we're having some trouble with our Facebook ads and acquisition. I would love if you could take a look. How much do you charge?" And I said, "Dude, I love you. I would love to do it for free. Like, just get me on a call. Let's do this." And we did a couple of hour call, and at the end of that, two things happened. Firstly, he was blown away. They made a bunch of changes. They made a bunch of money. The second thing was we were in the same mastermind community together, and that guy who was like doing 30 million a year, so he was one of the big dogs. He jumped into the community and he said, "Hey guys, I just got off a call with Dan. He's one of the best in the world that I know at helping." He wasn't doing like a sales pitch, but he was like, he's one of the best in the world at what he does. Like, he's super good. You should work with him type thing. And I was like, wow, pretty glowing review from someone doing, a lot of money in the coaching space. The second thing that happened was we helped someone hit $1 million a month. And we were running their ads, we were running their acquisition, we're doing emails and funnels and all of that. And not at all to take away from what they did, because like all the credit goes to them basically. They're amazing. It was an incredible time. It was right around the start of COVID. They were stepping up and being a leader. So there were so many things that I cannot take credit for. But the thing we were doing was running their ads and funnels and emails. And we could see the hundreds of thousands of dollars that our strategy alone had brought in for that particular month. And then at the end of that, they, gave us a big thanks for helping them cross that milestone. It was an incredible thing to be a part of. Truly, like I just remember it so vividly, being on that kind of midnight and we were tracking the money and all that kind of stuff. I think they hit 1.1 million. And those two things happened around that time in 2020, lots of other little things, but those were two big things that made me really go, hey, wait a minute, I don't think I'm just another agency owner amongst lots of agency owners. I think I've actually developed a real skill set here. And that continued to snowball as we hit our first $1 million year and then our first $2 million year. And in 2021, that was kind of, a really big moment. And this is all leading somewhere to exactly how you can charge more and become known in your niche. So stick with me. In 2021, we were about to head overseas and I wanted to make a lot of money in a short amount of time. And I didn't want to build out new offers or funnels or, get triple the amount of clients a month. So I decided to offer a one-to-one, like 12-week mentorship with me towards the end of 2021. And I put the thing out. I said, I've got 5 spots, 25K. If you're interested, let me know. I don't think I put the price out there, but I said, I gave all the details and then the price was 25K for 12 weeks, which is the most I'd ever charged for anything up until that point. And I actually took on 6 people, right? So unethical. I said 5, I took on 6. The 6th person was actually one of our clients who was like, dude, can I just upgrade, do the thing? And so anyway, I worked with 6 people at 25 grand, and some of them paid in full and some of them, split it across the 2 or 3 months. But that for me was a mind-blowing experiment moment for me, because when I actually broke down the delivery of that, some months I was, getting paid 5 grand an hour based on exactly what I was needing to deliver for these particular clients. And some of those clients were so happy that they stuck around for 6, 9, 10, 12 months. In fact, I still have one of those clients working with me over a year later. And so then this leads me into this year, which is that I then started building out a consulting side of my business. Now, I never talk about it. I'm not taking clients for it, but I have a handful of people that pay me thousands of dollars an hour. That kind of averages to be about 3,000 an hour. Some people, it's 5,000. Some people buy more hours and it ends up being about 3. And so that's the number I'm kind of rolling with for this video. But it led me to this season of business where I get paid large amounts of money to consult people and simply give them advice. Now, there are aspects where I might get into someone's funnel account or, help them create curriculum, but so much of it is literally jumping on calls and answering questions and giving people advice. And you might be wondering, how in the heck do you do that? How do you go from making $30 an hour as a pastor to getting, just a couple of years later, being recognized as an expert in an industry and getting paid thousands of dollars an hour just to give advice? And the reality is that this is not magic. This is not like, guesswork. There's actually a system for this that I want to really walk you through right now. And so in the rest of this video, I'm going to break down exactly how to become known in your niche so you can charge what you're worth. So whether you're looking to do, high ticket consulting, like I'm explaining, or whether you're simply looking to get clients easier for your main offer that you charge premium prices for, this is the roadmap for it. There are 4 things that you need to do. Number 1 is you need to become known for solving a problem. Now, this might sound really silly, but what I mean by this is that you cannot become known for solving 10 problems, right? Now, you might intuitively already know that. But the reality is that for many of us, if I was to look at your marketing, look at your funnels, get on a sales call with you or your rep, there are many problems that you're trying to tackle, right? Oh, if you're a business coach and you're helping restaurants grow, you're going to help them on the staffing side because it's so hard to get staff, and we help you get more staff and then retain them for longer. But then it's also hard to build a management team. So we help you build the management team, but then you've got to figure out your food pricing lists. And so we help you with the food pricing lists, and you also need to get customers in the door, and you need to figure out how to run promotions and so on and so forth, right? Stupid role play, but you get what I'm saying. Now, when you're working with clients, there are many problems to solve. So what I'm not saying is you only solve one problem. What I'm saying is you need to become known for solving one main problem. And when it comes to your marketing in your niche, you need to become known. I'm the guy who helps people scale with blank or whatever it is. Like, you need to become known with solving a problem. And when we launched our program, there were many things we helped people do on the other side of them paying us, because business is complex, life is complex. We need to help people with lots of different areas. But the main problem we helped people solve was they didn't have enough calls with the right prospects. And that was it, right? Now, in that, right, you've got marketing, sales, there's offer stuff, but the main problem we became known for was you don't have enough calls for the right prospects. So when it comes to your business, the only way that you become worth a lot of money, so you can charge a lot of money, you can become known in your niche and become high demand, is you have to become known for a main problem that you solve. Number 2, you need to help people get that result and become known for the solution. Now, when I say known for the solution, what I mean is you cannot leave your process, your mechanism, your methodology to just be talked about on the other side of someone paying to work with you, right? For example, if you are in the market to lose weight, right? Which many of us are, goodness. I mean, I was speaking for myself. I won't project that on you, but I'm looking to get in better shape. There are many ways that I can solve the problem of the extra weight I'm carrying around, right? Let's take an extreme example. Keto versus liposuction, right? Like, might get me to the same goal, very different solution. Why I talk about this is because when you focused in on solving a problem, that is step 1. It is very important, but it is not the only step, because there are other people in your niche, in your world, that also solve that same problem. So rather than coming across as the same offer, what you need to do is become known for your solution. Now, the solution is not just, I help people get more calls, right? If the problem is you don't have enough calls, and the solution is I help you get more calls, really what I'm talking about is what is the mechanism or the method that you use to help people do that, right? Keto versus liposuction, it's going to attract some people to one and some people to the other. And when you lead with this is our solution, this is the best way that we've found to solve this problem, you become known, you stand out, and people can see how you are different from other people. So when I'm consulting with people, one of the things that they love is that I have a holistic approach when it comes to scaling. So I have a lot of experience on the acquisition side and a lot of experience on the client success side. And so for me, I have a different point of view than someone who is coming at it with a different set of skills, a different set of experience. And so I've become known for bringing a certain type of solution to my clients. For you, you want to be clear on the solution, the mechanism, the method that you are advertising so it comes across simple and clearly. So for us in our program, for a long time we were talking about how do you get clients, using Facebook groups, and we talked about the automated group funnel. Before that, we talked about the hybrid method. We were talking about organic and paid. And so why I'm sharing these examples is because we need to become known for the method, the mechanism, the solution. And if you do not do that and you only focus in on the problem, you'll still be ahead of a lot of people, but you'll still be stuck being compared to competitors all the time. And so you need to be a step ahead by becoming known for a solution. Number 3 is understanding this core difference. And if you do not understand this difference, you will stay stuck being charging what only everyone else can charge as average coaches, and you'll never be able to get to that place where you are worth more, you can charge a premium, and you're in high demand. And it's understanding the difference between value reality and value perception. What do I mean by this? Well, when you are building out a program, or you have an agency, or you are selling your time one-to-one, there is value reality. In other words, the actual value that you bring to someone, the life change, the skill that you have. When someone works with you, there is group, there's a community, there's support calls, there's content, all of that good stuff on the other side of working with you. That's the reality, right? The reality is you might have a good product, you might have a bad product, you might have a great product, but there is an objective truth about the reality of the value you do or do not have. The challenge is, outside of reality, there is perception. So let me give you a really simple example. Have you ever met someone and on the first few minutes, you had a perception about them that over the long term turned out to be wrong? You might have thought they were amazing, and over the long term, you found out that they weren't so great. Flip side, you thought they were not so great and then you found out to be amazing. Were they any different over the long term, or was it just that your perception changed? Meaning, was the reality ever different than what you thought it was, or was it that, they gave a bad impression or a good first impression? For us, in our marketing and our sales, how we position ourselves either reflects badly on the actual reality of our program. You might have an amazing program, an amazing experience, an amazing service, that the way you market it, the way you talk about it, the way you position yourself actually lowers the value perception, right? People don't understand how awesome it is. or it might look better than it is. My point is that you want to find the sweet spot between actually having a good product and then making sure that people understand that the product is good. So it all starts with making sure your product is good. That's the foundation, is you have to be good at what you do. So when I've been working on going from generalist to specialist, so much of that journey has been about honing my craft as a coach, understanding how to look at KPIs, how to understand them, like literally, hundreds of hours, thousands of hours, maybe looking at ads and funnels and understanding marketing, messaging and offers. Also, my skill as a coach can actually be better and better and better so I can get better results. But then how I talk about my work as a coach is not just connected to the reality, the perception. I can either make myself look worse, look better, etc. You want to find the sweet spot where you can tell people all of the good things that you achieve in your programs in such a way that you don't confuse, like you don't overwhelm them, you don't talk about 27 things, but you hit on the right things and you connect those right things in an emotional way. So for example, in your program, you might have a one-to-one coach. That's a great value add in the reality of your program. But you need to communicate it in such a way that people perceive the value of a one-to-one coach. So you might say, hey, you have, a person that whenever you're stuck, you can reach out to. And that, to a lot of people just sounds like a customer service representative. Or you can say, you will have your own personal success coach who will be in the trenches with you, walking this journey out step by step, day by day. So you never have to do any guessing. You'll never be confused and you'll always be getting results and in momentum, right? Now that's just me kind of speaking on the fly. But the point is that how you explain something doesn't change the reality of what it actually is, but it changes the perception. Understanding this is the difference between being a generalist who's valued by few people to being a specialist who's valued by many and who becomes in high demand. And again, it starts with creating a great product, right? But it ultimately comes down to not just a great product, but how you talk about that product, how you talk about the service, how you talk about the actual value itself so that the perception of high value is there. And then lastly, and I cannot overstate this, we've talked about so far the importance of transitioning from generalist to specialist, and how the first part of that journey is being known and becoming good at solving a problem. Step 2 is becoming known for the unique solution you bring, right? The method, the mechanism. Keto versus liposuction, it's understanding that people don't just want the problem solved, but they want the problem solved in a way that they want it solved, that they want to love the solution to. Number 3, we talked about the difference between value reality and value perception, and making sure that there is a good marriage and connection between those two, that people understand how awesome what you have to offer is. But number 4, and this is the absolute most important thing, and I cannot overstate it. If you want to become known for something, if you want to be in high demand, if you want people to jump on a wait list, put in deposits so they can hold spots to work with you eventually, you have to be trying to become known for something you're passionate about. And I just cannot overstate the importance of this, that if you were trying to build a business around something that you're not passionate about, maybe you were passionate about health and fitness once upon a time, and 3, 4, 5 years later, you're still coaching health and fitness, but you're becoming resentful about talking about these topics. You're becoming resentful about jumping on coaching calls. You don't want to record another module because you can't believe you're still repeating yourself all these years later. Or maybe you're not even years into it, but you picked the wrong niche to start with, or the wrong group of people to start with. Nothing else that I've said actually matters if you don't care about what you're doing. Because this is the secret to really thriving as a coach or consultant, is being really good at what you do. And the only way you become good at what you do is when you're passionate about what you do. People can sense intention. Their subconscious can pick up on your energy. It doesn't matter if you say all the right things. Like right now, I'm loving creating this video. I love talking about this stuff, right? If I was sitting here, it doesn't matter if my face, my tonality, my body language was all doing the right things. If I didn't want to be here, if there was someone else I wanted to be, something else I wanted to be, someone else I wanted to be, something else I wanted to be talking about, you smart people would pick it up and know it. And for many of you, there is a misalignment in your business between either, if we scroll back up here, either the person you're working with, the problem you solve, the goal you're helping them achieve, or the process you're using to achieve that. If there's a misalignment, ultimately you just won't care about it. And if you don't care about it, it doesn't matter about anything else I've talked about, because that's the first thing you have to address. You have to be passionate about it if you want to become known about it. So I could go on all day, but these are the 4 things that you need to do to become world class, be able to be paid thousands of dollars per hour just to consult on these things, and ultimately become known in your niche and in high demand. Become known for solving a problem, create a unique solution that people actually want. Number 3, marry value reality with value perception, right? It's not just about creating a good product, it's about making sure that it's perceived as a good product. And then number 4, ultimately, it all comes down to passion, the energy, the love that you have for something. That is how you become known for something. That's how you become world class at it. So hoping this was helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know. If this resonated with you, let me know as well. And I look forward to seeing you in another episode.